What's going on, YouTube? Welcome to Junior and the Big Dog, your favorite father and son duo covering Miami Hurricanes football and sports. Hope
It's
everybody's having a
all
good evening.
it's all about that you.
Yes, sir. You see Big Dog. You see a lot more of Big Dog now, and this is because he's gonna give you a breakdown with diagrams that he drew himself of X's and O's, spread concepts, defenses. A more visual explanation of some of the things that we covered in our Dan Enos, West Coast versus the spread offense and the spread coast. But we got some requests from our viewers because they're more visual learners. And frankly, I'm just excited as probably the audience right now to dive deep into X's and O's because I'll be honest, I'm gonna learn some things along with you guys as well. So I've been excited for this video as well, and I think Big Dog has been more excited because this is his niche, his thing, X's and O's, and getting on nerdy with the diagrams and So hopefully you guys can follow along. He's not the best drawer in the world, but he did show me some examples, and I think you guys are gonna understand it, perfectly. But before we go ahead and jump into this video, like, subscribe, comment, share, hit that notification bell so you get notified anytime we do upload a new video. Especially X's and O's. This is a segment we're gonna be doing. So any requests that you guys want to see of any X's and O's breakdowns in the future, let us know in the comment section. And yeah, PayPal, if you want to support the channel, is going to be in the description below on this video. Anything helps. If you can't, we completely understand, but we leave it out there, just so you guys could donate if you do want to help the channel out. So yeah, Big Dog man, you ready for this? Oh, I can't hear you. Make sure your mic is on.
Can
There
you
you
hit
go,
it
baby.
again? Sorry about that, guys. You did mention please like, subscribe, hit the notifications bell,
Yeah.
and leave some comments. If you guys do have questions, please leave them in the comment section. I'll answer them. We'll answer them like we always do. And just thank everybody for supporting the channel. It's been amazing, the love that we receive from all of you, and I'm touched. I'm surprised. I didn't think really people would like that. And I think when we started talking about the spread coast is when you were right. I mean, you had told me all along that people would like that, and I didn't think they would. I thought it was just something, that that I was into. In fact, one of the guys that commented, I've been a student of football philosophy and really football history and the X's and O's and all that things. And one of the things we talked about, in fact, I'm going to get to the route tree, which is really something that Sid Gilman's the father of the modern passing game. He was a coach of the Rams in the 50s, then was a coach of the Chargers in the 60s, and then coached some in the 70s. But he's the one that came up basically with a route tree, and they used a numbering system for calling plays and using the route tree. I know a lot of people have heard that term, but mind you, some of you guys that have a football background and stuff, some of this stuff is going to be, basic for you, but I am going to go into more complicated concepts. The one thing I want to say though, and Junior and I were talking about this before we went on the air, is the way to understand these things is you need to understand the broad concept first. And then when you do that, all the details make sense to you. Like we talked about, that the West Coast offense is basically a short passing offense. Now, it does have some longer patterns, but short to intermediate. And the whole concept of it is spreading you out horizontally, which then gives opportunities for big plays with vertical seams. And it uses the short passing game as an extension of the run game. Okay. And then we talked about the spread being an offense that spreads you out with formations. And what they're trying to do is get a numbers advantage on one of the 3/3 that the field is split into: boundary, the running zone, and then the field side is what they call it. So if they get a numbers advantage, they can exploit that, but they spread you out with formation horizontally. And for the same thing, then it gives you vertical seams. Now, with the spread, you usually have a little bit of a longer patterns. With the West Coast, you have some long patterns, some vertical patterns thrown in, but the concept is short passing for the most part. And then when the defense tries to overplay the short, that's when you see more of the vertical routes. And then it has route combinations that have vertical routes that can be used either to hit the big play or to clear out. And then you see how the West Coast spreads you out horizontally by route concepts, and the spread spreads you out horizontally by formation.
Mm-hmm.
And then once you understand those broad concepts, now you can understand what Dan Enos does with the spread coast. There's a guy by the name of Bill, I believe his name is Bill Renner. I'm not sure if he's the first one that, because I know Top Gun Academy also did this, but of mixing the spread and the West Coast offense. He in fact, he has quite a few videos. I think he still has quite a few videos on YouTube, but he was a longtime coach and stuff like that. And he basically made an offense that was the combination of the spread and the West Coast. And there's been a couple of others, but that's something that Dan Enos does. So I think that explains it pretty well. But understand the overview, and then the details will make sense to you.
Yeah. I think I don't know if one of the things you want to go into when you were discussing the spread and it's how it differs from the West Coast and trying to get either even or uneven matchups when it comes to formations on the spread. Correct. I think one of those things that you broke down to me early on was how I think that was a good explanation. I don't know if you want to get into that, but explain for our viewers. What do you mean when you're saying that the spread coach tries to spread out the defense horizontally when it comes to formations? I think you explained it very eloquently and in a perfect way for everybody to understand it in layman terms.
Perfect. The thing is, think about it conceptually. Bill Walsh on the West Coast offense, even though it was a passing offense, he had a majority of his formations were two back sets. So they were 21 sets, two backs and a tight end and two receivers. So he spread you out horizontally and then used the short passing game as an extension of the run. The spread, people see all these wide receivers and see people spread out and they think it's a pass-happy offense. It's not. It's actually more of a running offense than the West Coast. Because the West Coast, like I said, does use that short passing as an extension of the run, so they pass it a little bit more, but it's a lot of controlled passing. With the spread, the whole point of spreading up our formations is you separate the field into thirds. Okay? Now, very rarely is the ball right in the middle of the field. It could be on one hash or the other, and more or less depending where it was spotted. Mm-hmm. So the short side of the field is called the boundary side. The middle portion of the field, so if you divide it into thirds, but starting where your offensive linemen are at, okay, starting in the box, that's your running zone. And then the wide part of the field, that's called the field side. Okay, so what you want ideally with the spread, and it happens every single time because the numbers just add up, right, is wherever you have an advantage, and an advantage for an offense is when you have as many people as the defense or more.
Or more, right.
And then a disadvantage is when you have fewer people in that part, boundary, run, or field side. When you have fewer, then you tend to stay away from that side. Although you can still make some throws to the backside. But so think about it that way. Short side of the field is the boundary. The middle where the box is the running zone. And then the wide side of the field is the field zone. So wherever you have a man advantage or that you're even, you want to exploit that advantage, because then that gets the ball to talented athletes in space. And if they get perfect ball placement with touch, they can catch the ball and take off. And now you spread the team out wide and you have all these vertical seams for them to exploit to be able to run after the catch, which is the brilliance of the spread coach that Dan Enos has.
Right. Perfect, man. Perfect. I just wanted the people to really get your explanation of the spread offense, because I think there's a lot of misconceptions out there when it comes to spread versus West Coast and how spread it's more with formation and trying to get those matchups, with formations, and then the West Coast is more, route concepts and patterns to spread the defense out horizontally.
Correct.
So there is a difference there.
Correct.
So, but you explained it perfect, man. That was awesome.
I'm glad everybody understood.
Yeah.
You want to go ahead and get started with now? This actually doesn't apply to the. It applies to a spread off. Doesn't apply to the spread coach because the way Bill Walsh named plays, he actually used names. The route tree was used, for example, if you have an X, Y, and Z receiver, and I say 767, then you know the X runs the 7, the Y runs the 6, and the Z runs the 7, right? So that would be your play call. That origin of that is Sid Gilman. There's a great book. I forgot the writer's name. My apologies, but there's a great book that I read a while back. I think it came out a few years ago. Sid Gilman, the father of the modern passing game, I think it was called. And he really was. I mean, he was brilliant. He's really one of these guys that came up. I think was really the first guy that came up with timing routes, in terms of being able to do your 3-step drop, 5-step drop, 7-step drop.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I think everybody knows what that is basically. You can even do a 1-step drop on like bubble screens and those type of things, right? Where all you do is, the odd number is whatever hand you throw. Mm-hmm. So if you do a 1-step drop, it means your right foot went back just 1 step, and then you deliver from there. But those are fewer and far between. 3 and 5-step drops are the most common. And obviously the 1-step drop is usually done from under center. Mm-hmm. So which Dan Enos does both. He does some under center, does some shotgun also. So, but I do want to show everybody the route tree. So when because I have had people ask me what exactly is the route tree because they've heard it mentioned so much.
Right.
I just made a diagram here. I think that the Philadelphia Eagles, can you see it there good?
Yeah. Put it a little closer to you.
It's closer to me.
Boom, right there. Perfect.
Perfect. All right. So the Eagles, I think at one time actually made them opposite, but it's always been this way. The even numbers go towards the middle of the field. The odd numbers go towards the sidelines on both sides. Okay? So you have a 0. This goes a numbering system. Oh, I'm sorry. Can you see it there?
Yeah, you're good. You're good. Right, perfect right there.
From 0 to 9. Mm-hmm. Okay? So a 0 would be a screen. A 1 is a flat, basically a down and out. A 2 is a slant. Actually, I would say this would just be a flat. A 2 is a slant. A 3 is an out. A 4 is an in. A 5 is a hitch. A 6 is a curl. A 7 is a flag or a corner. An 8 is a post. And a 9 is a go. Everybody see that there?
I'm pretty impressed for your drawing skills.
It wasn't terrible. I mean,
I've seen a lot worse from you, big dog. That's perfect right there. I like that.
Guys, I have historically bad handwriting, and so this is about as good as it gets for me. But it's the same. Like I said, it's always the even numbers are towards the middle of the field. The odd ones are out. That's the route tree, guys. Nothing complicated about it. It's just giving numbers to patterns. So that way, when you do a play call, it makes it much, much easier for everybody to remember their assignment.
Right.
Okay, in a shorter play call. So that's why they invented the route tree. But I wanted people to see it because I've had a lot of people that ask me. All right. You want to go on to the next one?
Yes, sir.
All right, guys. This is really important because sometimes football guys, they do stuff, make it really complicated just to appear smarter than they are. It's very simple math. Everybody knows how long a field is. 100 yards, add the end zones, it makes it 120. A lot of people don't know how wide the field is. A field is 53 1/3 yards wide. The point of the West Coast offense and the spread is to make you cover all 53 yards of that width. Okay? So what I want to show you, it's basically simple math. This is, can you see it there good?
Yeah.
There we go. All right. So now remember, this is from the line of scrimmage. The short zones are from the line of scrimmage as a rule of thumb to 15 yards down the field. Mm-hmm. So from the line of scrimmage to 15 yards from the line of scrimmage. If you have 4 rushers, you have 7 defenders, right? So this is basically a cover 2 zone is what I'm showing you. But no matter what the defense, it has these same basic concepts, okay? So the short middle is called, I always know it as a hook zone. Some people call it the hole for some reason, but I've always known it as hook.
Put it a little closer to you so they can see. No, yeah, to you. There you go. Perfect.
Okay. Then on each side of these, you have the curl and then the flat. Now what happens is a lot of times people think when they hear flat, they think it's just that area close to the line of scrimmage. No, that extends to 15 yards down the field. So when you have basically this is a cover 2 zone, that means the 5 short defenders, one covers the flat, one covers the curl, so one covers the hook, this curl, and then the other flat. And then the 2 safeties usually play the deep zone. Okay? Now, sometimes you'll get creative defensive coordinators that'll put a cornerback, back in the deep zone, and they'll blitz a safety, and then they'll only have 4 short zones. Okay? Now, when you guys hear cover 3, all cover 3 is instead of the dividing line being here, it divides it in thirds, right? Mm-hmm. Most of the times what happens is the strong safety comes down into the box, provides run support, and then he gets the curl flat area. Because now remember, we only have, on a cover 3, we only have 4 short zones, right? So then the strong safety will come down and get the flat curl area. Then you'll have, for example, let's say you have, let's use a 4-3 for now, okay? So then you'll have on the strong safety gets a curl flat. You have one of the linebackers gets the hook curl. The other linebacker gets the hook curl on this side, and then you have the curl flat by we talk about cover 3 by the other linebacker. So you got linebacker, strong safety, covering the 4 short zones. Okay? And then you have the deep zones divided into thirds, where you have the free safety will get the middle, and the 2 cornerbacks will get the deep. Did I explain that well enough?
100%, big dog.
All right. So always think about that. These are your short zones. Now, I think the Rams, I want to say in the 90s, Rams, they actually divided the short zones into sevenths, where they added a short alley. You don't need that. It's basically, think about the 5. It's either going to be 2 and 5 or 3 and 4. It's straight math if you rush 4. Now remember, if you send a blitzer with a zone, you're taking a man from here. Okay? So if you're playing a cover 3, let's say. If you're playing a cover 2, you're still taking a man from here. That's all it is, guys. It's just math. It's regular. Every blitzer makes you have to cover more territory. So if you think about it, if the field's 53 yards wide, if you got 5 people here, they really only have to cover like 11 yards apiece. Now these guys in the deep, they have to cover 26.66 yards apiece. Okay, so that gives you an idea why, but they're also further away from the quarterback, so they have more time before the ball arrives. Okay, but that gives you an idea. There's only one more coverage I wanted to show you guys, because we can talk about if it's cover 3, now you guys know. If it's cover 4, if it's cover 0, if it's it's just straight man, those type of things. This is for zones, and no matter what you do with the math, it's going to equal that. Does that make sense?
Can I just say this? This has to be like one of my favorite videos we've done so far.
I love this stuff, man. I can talk X's and O's forever. All right, now this is quarters coverage. This is the only one I want to show you guys because it's a little different. On quarters coverage, this is very important.
You're gonna want to move it up just a little bit.
Sorry about that.
No, like move it towards you. There you go, perfect, right there, boom.
There, okay.
Perfect.
The quarters coverage, there's reads. Now I want you to remember this because, all right, before I get there, let me do this. In terms of coverages, it's not really complicated. You have man coverage, which is self-explanatory. Everybody gets a man. Okay, I mean, at least all 5 of the skill position players are covered. Okay, everybody covers a man. If you want to double team somebody, you double team them. Okay, now that's self-explanatory. What's not self-explanatory is you have combo coverages where you have some man and some zone. Now, if you have a cover 2 man, it means you have two deep safeties, and then the other receivers are covered man to man with safety protection over the top. That's usually pretty prevalent. Okay, so you have different types of man zone too. You can roll them side to side. You can even do zone on one side and man on the other. There's different ways of doing that. Okay, so then you have on the zones, there's 2 types of zones. Okay, there's a traditional zone, and again, you guys remember I told you think about broad concepts. Remember, in the entire history of pro football, a patch of grass has never scored a touchdown. All right, so when you're covering zone, you're not covering that area. Think about it in the way of I'm covering the players that could be in my area. And that is important because you're and you even see it sometimes in the NFL even where they get caught in between and they're not covering anybody. Mm-hmm. You have somebody short on your zone, you have somebody with a longer pattern, and instead of playing one or the other, they sort of freeze and just cover a patch of grass. Well, that's not covered. That's not what you do. Mm-hmm. You have to cover the the players that are in your area. Okay, so think about that concept for 1 second, and I'll tell you why I want you to think about that concept. Because the traditional zone was basically drop and sit and stop, right? So you're covering this area and you're waiting to see which patterns come in your area. That's not as popular as it used to be. Now what you have is called pattern reading zones. Those are the ones that are most prevalent today in football, in the NFL completely, but you're even seeing it in colleges and the like. Now, the reason I'm mentioning that is this. So think about it. Let me get this out of here. Okay, think about it this way. When you do these type of zones, you have to number the receivers, okay? So you number the receivers from the outside in. So basically, this receiver is a 1. He's the 1. The halfback in this formation.
Move it up.
Oh, I'm sorry. The halfback in this formation is the 2. Mm-hmm. Okay, now that's 1 and 2 weak side, right? Because the other side is the strong side. So same thing on this side. The outside guy is the 1. Then the middle here is the 2. And basically the slot. Here's the 2. And then the tight end is the 3. Mm-hmm. So that's
I know this might not be necessary for most viewers out there, but just explain why is the weak side compared to the strong side of the formation of the offensive line.
Correct. Strong side is always the side that has a tight end.
There you go.
Okay. Or in this case, even if you split the tight end wide, that's still the strong side.
Okay.
Because you got 3 by 2. And actually you got 3 by 1 with a halfback. Mm-hmm. Okay. So strong side is the side with a tight end. Now, this is why these numbers are important. Okay. In quarters coverage, what you do is this. This free safety, okay, now he is basically responsible for that halfback. Mm-hmm. Okay. But if this halfback runs a flat route or a route towards the middle of the field, like a drag route, he lets him go and he doubles this outside guy. Mm-hmm. Okay. Over on this side, same exact thing. Okay. He is reading the 2. If the 2 does a drag or an out, he lets him go, and then he focuses on the 1. All right. And the 1, if the 1 does an out pattern, this cornerback's supposed to hit it hard. Or it's supposed to bite down hard on the out pattern.
Mhm.
All right, we got that.
Perfect.
And then if that's the case, then the strong stays with the 2. And then there you see the weak side linebacker gets the flat. Strong side linebacker gets the flat over there. Okay, and then the middle linebacker. Now you will see a Tampa 2, and the Tampa 2 that you hear so much about, this middle linebacker gets sort of a deeper drop, so he covers the post on that cover 2, so the post doesn't split him. He actually has a deeper drop, and that's what they mean by the Tampa 2. All right, that's the quarters coverage that I wanted to show you. Now, this is the point that I was saying about the on the spread. Did you see it there?
Perfect.
Okay.
Dang, I'm impressed. I'm impressed with your skills.
This is about as
You brought it. You brought it, big dog.
my handwriting is horrible though. All right. Now let's say the ball, you see I put the ball on this hash right here, on the left hash. Right? So this is the boundary side, the short side of the field. This here is your run zone, the box.
Mhm.
Right? And then this is the field side, the wide side of the field. Okay? So let's say here this is a cover 2. This actually should be an end. I'm sorry, I actually put the 5 technique and stuff. But let's just put this is a 3-4. Okay? So let's do this. You see that they're playing the 3-4. Now, what the quarterback wants to see is where does he have the advantage? Okay? In this case, that they're playing a cover 2, okay, on this side, now you don't count the defensive linemen, you just count the linebackers, right?
Mhm.
So on this side, he might have, now mind you, this guy could actually come over here, and then if this inside linebacker, now mind you, a lot of teams have different names for when they play 4 linebackers, but so I don't confuse things, I just put them inside linebacker, weak side, strong side. Okay, so if depending on this formation, if they, for example, if this guy comes down, all right, and this guy moves over, then this changes the numbers over here. But for the most part, right now, you have 2 offensive skill players and 3 defenders.
Mhm.
So chances are you
Up
might
a little
want
bit.
Oh, sorry.
There you go.
You have 2 skill position players
Mhm.
here and here, and then you have 1, 2, 3 defenders. You don't count the line.
Mhm.
Okay, so you might want to stay away from the boundary side. Then on the run side, you count the quarterback here because you can do read options. Okay, so the quarterback. Give me 1 second here. Let me get this out. The quarterback does count. So you have inside the box, you have basically 5, 6, 7 players, and you have count them. You have really if this strong side linebacker comes out to where the tight end was, you only have 6 in the box. Now, if this guy stays in here, stays in a little bit tighter, you would have 7.
Mhm.
But still, 7 on 7 is an advantage. Remember, even or better. But if this guy is in here, that would really hurt him because now you have 3 on the field side, and at best you have 3 defensive players on the field side.
Right.
So what does that tell you? That field side, in this case, in this type of formation, would be wide open,
Mhm.
right? Because now you have 3 defensive players trying to cover 3 offensive players.
Mhm.
So what happens if you run a combo pattern and a guy is able to catch the ball in space with good ball placement where he could catch it and run after the catch?
Mhm. Get a good chunk of yardage after the
Got a
catch.
good chunk of yardage after the catch. Okay, so always remember that with spread concepts, you have the boundary side, basically the run zone, and then the field side. Okay,
Mhm.
I think that's all I wanted to say on that one. Here we go. Now, here's the fun part. All right, I want to make sure I got it all here. All right, this is basically a very common. I'm going to try to do my best here, guys, because my handwriting kind of stinks. So, but this is a fairly common play call. Okay, now these dashed lines, that's the progression that the quarterback reads. Okay, so this is a smash concept against a cover 2. All right,
Mhm.
so here you have
Up a little bit.
Oh, here we go.
No. Like yeah, like back to there. You go. Perfect.
There we go. That's pretty good right there.
Yeah.
All right. Now, in this smash concept, outside receiver on the boundary side, he's going to run a hitch. Okay? Then the halfback, he's actually going to go, you're going to love this, motion.
No.
He's going to go in motion. So he's going to go in motion and go towards the line of scrimmage and then go parallel. You can remember, you can't go towards the line of scrimmage. That's a illegal motion. But then he's going to go parallel to the line. Okay? Now, he's going to run a corner route. All right?
Mm-hmm.
Over on this side, basically the tight end, he's going to run a takeoff. Okay, making sure he gets inside the strong side linebacker. Okay, then the middle receiver here is going to run a corner or a flag, and then the outside receiver is going to run a slant. Okay, now if let's say the advantage is to the field side, like we were looking at before, right? This is a cover two, safety, safety. These two safeties have the deep zones. Okay, and what do you have here in the middle, in the short zones? You're going to have 5 people covering, right? Mm-hmm. Short zone. Well, actually, one of these linebackers is going to blitz. And it's not really a blitz because they're just rushing 4 because they have a 3-man line. Because this is against the 3-4.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
which is what UF runs.
Which is what Florida runs, correct. Now, mind you, if they go to nickel, that's fine. You just replace one of the linebacker with a nickel. And then you would have a middle linebacker, a strong side, and a weak side, and a nickel back. Okay? Mm-hmm. Now, here's the thing. This is important. If you're going to go to the field side, I want everybody to see here. You have a couple of windows. Can you see it here still?
That's perfect right there, Big Dog.
There you go. You got a quick window on this slant. Because if this cornerback lets go of the slant, okay, chances are he's going to read from 1 to 2. So he's going to see 2 bolt up field, and he knows he has a safety over the top. So this corner might stay with the slant. Okay, in which case the slant wouldn't be open in this window. Okay, but then you have a further window because the corner, when he sees he's probably going to be peeking, he sees this receiver do this, then he has to, this is his area up until 15 yards. So then he lets go of the slant and goes to the corner, or you see how the window goes? If that cornerback, so the cornerback is reading the corner. If that corner doesn't go to the corner route, he has a corner route because this strong safety is backing up to get the deep zone. He's not going to be able to get over there in time. Okay. So then the QB throws it to the corner route for a good gain. If the corner then goes with the corner route, the QB has a second window now to hit the slant. So you see, this is the first window, and then this is the second window. And what he's reading is the corner, because there is no way this strong side linebacker, if he's not the one that's rushing, there is no way he's going to be able to get to the slant. Mm-hmm. So he's reading the corner. That's his second window if he wants to go boundary side. Now, if he wants to go, boundary side.
Field side, right.
Right. Now, if he wants to go boundary side, outside receiver is running, I call them X. I don't want to confuse people calling him X, Y, and Z, but they are X, Y, and Z, and you'll have a wing back, that type of terminology. But first, so everybody can get where I'm going, I'm going to say outside receiver. This outside receiver is going to run a short hitch. Okay? Then the motion with the halfback is going to run the corner. Here's the quarterback's read. First read that the quarterback has is this hitch. Now, what is he reading? If this weak side linebacker is the one that's rushing, okay, this inside linebacker, because you have to remember, this quarterback is covering that short zone. So chances are he's going to stay on the hitch. But what happens here is this, that's why they call it smash concept, is the same thing that happens here. This quarterback, he has to read from 1 to 2, right? So if he's reading the 1, he sees the hitch, he sits on the hitch. But what happens is with this receiver,
Yeah,
with the halfback, DJ Dallas.
the two end up becoming the 1.
Correct, because he's going to go to the corner.
Right.
Okay, now this cornerback, again, he's reading the cornerback. Is the cornerback, he knows this guy's doing a hitch. When he sees him make a break, he either has to stay on the hitch, okay, or go back to the corner. Now, when the quarterback looks in this window, if you have to remember, let's say it's the weak side linebacker that's rushing.
Mm-hmm.
This linebacker has to get over in this short zone. All right. But if this quarterback doesn't see the linebacker and he reads the quarterback's going to the corner, he hits the hitch.
Mm-hmm.
If not, he hits the corner before the free safety can get there. Now, he also has another option. If he sees that the cornerback is sitting on the hitch and this free safety is getting there in the corner, then he can hit in the hole. Mm-hmm. This is called a hole pass, okay? Which is basically, you've seen them that they haven't even finished their pattern. So this guy, DJ Dallas, has to make sure he's looking the whole way before he breaks for the corner because he might be able to hit him in this window. Mm-hmm. Okay, now this is the thing, guys, that I want to show you guys with the spread coast. Okay, look at all these, look how spread out the defense is. Any one of these receivers catches a ball with perfect ball placement, okay, and good timing, he has chances to break it upfield because you're spreading the defense out wide with the patterns and with the formation. So even this short hitch can turn into a good gainer. Okay? Over here, this short slant could turn into a big gainer because look, right there, he has a strong safety. He's already past this linebacker. If he catches this in stride, guess what? Jeff Thomas, yeah, that's dangerous.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
You think, any questions on that one?
That's good, man.
All right. Oh, there we go. Now I want to show you the same play versus cover 3. Okay? Now, what's brilliant about this offense is you do not have to change plays to the coverage because it attacks all different types of coverage. Okay. Now in cover 3, the strong safety comes down here because he's covering that flat zone. This quarterback is off because now he's covering a deep zone. The free safety is covering the middle deep zone, and this corner is covering the deep zone over on this side. Okay? Mm-hmm. Now check this out. Same exact reads for the quarterback. What's his first read? His first read is this slant. Okay? Because if this safety knows that he has help over the top, but is he going to, since he's reading, what is he reading? He's reading 2 to 1. Okay? So this corner might stay with him here over the top, and the safety might actually break on the corner. But when this corner sees the out pattern, he's going to stay there because he's going to follow. Remember, they're going to go always protect the deepest first. Okay? So then he has the first window is here. All right? Because if this corner is playing off and this safety breaks down for the flat or doesn't cover him, he could hit him in this window or in the second window. Okay? Mm-hmm. Now we're doing the same thing over here. Now this is even better. And again, he might be looking because they're in cover 3. Guess what? This boundary side has decent numbers now. Right? Because if you have this guy blitzes, and chances are he will, this guy blitzes, now all of a sudden you have one defender, and you have 2 players. Now, if he's blitzing, maybe this linebacker slides over. It's still 2 versus 2. Okay? There we go. So here we go. This guy's here, same exact thing. The hitch is here. Now, this cornerback's bailing. He reads the hitch first. If this linebacker, when the quarterback looks this way, if this linebacker doesn't get in this area to obstruct his view, throws the hitch. Mm-hmm. And now you have a receiver in space with one guy here, and then maybe the free safety and the linebacker's trying to chase. makes a move, gains some big yardage. Okay, so you're going to throw the hitch first. All right, because chances are this corner is going to, since he's playing deep, he's going to take away the quarter pattern. But here's the thing: if this linebacker, let's say the weak side linebacker doesn't blitz, he gets in this hole right here.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Look at the hole throw on the pattern of DJ Dallas.
Mm-hmm.
Then he can make that hole throw before he makes his corner break.
Mm-hmm.
And then what do you have? Because this linebacker, there's no way he's going to get here in time. Okay? Then you have DJ Dallas with the ball in space. You got that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, remember, on the cover 3, this guy is going to be taken out on the takeoff.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. On cover 2, he could actually split the cover. I didn't cover that one. I forgot to mention his pattern. But on the cover 2, he could split that and be open.
Right.
And that's a read also to see if when they're in cover 2, if this strong safety is covering this corner, then you could hit the takeoff route.
Right.
Because the free safety is going to be covering this corner.
Mm-hmm.
You got me?
Yeah.
One of the big things with these concepts is you use one pattern to take care of 2 defenders. That's a big thing because that helps your numbers.
Yeah.
When you can occupy 2 defenders with one pattern. Okay. Now this one, could you see it clearly though, dude? Or is my drawing too bad?
Nah, I think it's perfect.
Okay.
I'll move it up a little bit. There you go.
This is basically a 0 route. Okay. You have 3 by 1 with a halfback. Okay. On the boundary side, on the short side, halfback is running a flat. We'll call him Cam Harris this time. He's running a flat. Okay. Outside receiver is running a takeoff. This is against cover 2. So you have deep safety, and then you have 5 underneath zones with 4 rushers. Okay. So now he's running the flat. Now, if this guy blitzes and this guy doesn't get over here in time, now mind you, on a cover 2, that cornerback's going to stay. He's probably going to follow a little bit. Okay, now if he goes too far, the flat will be open. And then you got the running back against a linebacker. Mm-hmm. And a linebacker probably is this one trying to get over there in time. Okay? But chances are the quarterback will let him go knowing he has free safety help over the top and come back here and protect this flat. Okay? Now you could have a hole throw right here. So here he's reading the corner. If this corner comes up, stays with this man up here, he'll throw it in the flat, and then you have Cam Harris can make a decent game. Mm-hmm. So that's his read on the boundary side. Now his read on this side is just pick your poison, okay? Because here's the thing. On cover 2, he has a short zone. How far up does he go? Okay? And the quarterback's first read, he could actually throw this screen, especially if he feels pressure, he could throw this screen quickly. Mm-hmm. Because look what you have over here. Strong safety is deep. Linebacker, strong side linebacker is here. Mm-hmm. Okay. You think he's going to be able to crash down on this screen in time? No, because look who he has to occupy himself. A slant. Mm-hmm. So he has to basically worry about this guy first. Because remember, it's cover 2. So short zone. Let's say this guy gets this one and this guy gets this one, and then he rushes the passer. Mm-hmm. Okay? So if that's the case, either the case, he's going to have to cover the slant.
Right.
Okay? So he's going to try to get the slant. Now, he hits the screen. What happens? You got the strong side linebacker here. You got the cornerback here. And then you have the strong safety over here. You could have a good side, because especially he hits him in stride, that could be a big gainer. I'm not saying huge gainer, but that could be 10, 12 yards. Mm-hmm. Okay? And if he feels good about the slant, he can hit the slant here if the strong side linebacker is not getting there in time, or he could hit the slant over here after he's already should be able to beat the strong side linebacker. And then you have catches the ball here, and then he can split those safeties and he catches his stride. And I think you're seeing on all of these why ball placement is so important in this defense.
Yeah.
Because a lot of these plays, if you don't get the good ball placement, okay, fine, you get 3 yards. Okay, you might end up punting.
Yeah.
You get the ball placement, moves the chains.
Mm-hmm.
All right? So this is against a cover 2. Did I explain that well?
Yes, sir.
You also have a deep post here, which I should have mentioned here. You also have a deep post that and this way I marked it like this. On this read, he's looking at the slant, but he's also looking at the deep post. Mm-hmm. So he's reading deep post first and then slant second. Because it's all in the same eyesight. Right? So you got the first window, second window. This is the third window. And the progression is going to be always deepest to shortest, right? So he's looking at that post. If that safety didn't cover that post well, or that safety, let's say he bit towards the slant a little bit, then you could hit the post, or you can wait if you have time, and you can hit the post further down, and then it splits the safeties in a cover 2. Mm-hmm. Okay? Because remember, where's this free safety now?
And that'll be important, especially when it comes to Jaren looking off safeties, like we covered in that breakdown with Jaren.
Exactly. But look at this free safety. He has to cover this takeoff.
Yeah.
Where's this deep post going to go if he has time?
To the hizzy, to Jeff Thomas, baby.
There you go.
Yeah.
Okay? So you got first window, second window, third window. On the boundary side, you could do either a pass in the hole here, or basically you're looking at the slant and the post if you don't do the screen.
Yeah.
Okay? Now this is that same play against cover 3. All right, you see cover 3, cornerback goes back, covers that third. This cornerback covers that third, free safety in the middle. Okay? Now on the
up a little bit.
Oh, I'm sorry.
There you go.
On the boundary side, here's the read again. In the flat, let's say this guy rushes. This guy has to get over there, right? Because the quarterback's bailing. And especially when he sees this guy in a takeoff, that cornerback has to make sure that that's his man there. Mm-hmm. Okay? So right here, look, he makes this throw on the flat. Who's going to get him? Do you think that linebacker's going to get there in time? Now he turns it up the field with good ball placement. He turns it up the field, and then he has a cornerback to beat. Now, mind you, free safety could come over and the like. Obviously, you're going to try to gang tackle. But he has an opportunity to make a move if he catches it in stride and make a big play happen on a very short pass. Okay? Mm-hmm. You also have the possibility if this, let's say this linebacker doesn't blitz, and this linebacker goes to cover the flat, well, if that's the case, you might get right here in this hole, you might be able to hit the takeoff. Mm-hmm. So reads 1, 2. Right?
Right.
Boundary side, same thing. Start off with the screen. On that receiver, you got a slant and you got a post. Right? So now you have this cornerback, chances are he's coming over on this post, and you're not going to run him into the free safety, right? But let's say the free safety comes up to try to take away the slant. How much room does that screen have now?
A lot. Mm-hmm.
In that window.
Yeah.
So, but I just wanted to show the
drink some water, baby, after all that breakdown.
The concepts, because that's why you guys have to understand the overview. When people say dink and dunk, okay, do you know how the whole West Coast offense started?
You turned it off. You turned off your mic, big dog.
Okay. We talked about it in the last episode that Bill Walsh, working for Paul Brown with the Bengals in 1970, they lost Greg Cook, who was a stud of a quarterback, had a really bright future, and they picked up Virgil Carter from the Buffalo Bills, who was known as being accurate, somewhat, but did not have a strong arm. So he built this horizontal passing game, basically. Okay. The offense actually should have been called the Ohio River offense because it did start in Cincinnati. And that's a lot of people still call it the Ohio River offense. The reason that they call it West Coast is because Bill Parcells, when the Giants beat the 49ers, he said something along the lines of, how do you like that West Coast offense now? Type of thing. Because he didn't like it because it was dink and dunk. In reality, it's not a dink and dunk offense. It's an offense that can gain chunks of yards with good ball placement, good timing, okay, reading your progression correctly. And what did Manny and Dan Enos say about their offense? And you saw it in those diagrams. There's always somewhere for the quarterback to go with the ball. Mm-hmm. That's exactly what Dan Enos and Manny Diaz meant, that there's always somewhere for them to go with the ball. And you do see there's some longer patterns there. You have post patterns, you have takeoffs, you have some long patterns that can be hit, and Jaron has the arm strength and the accuracy to hit them. Mm-hmm. But it's an offense designed to always give the quarterback solutions. If you play cover 2, if you play cover 3, if you play man, no matter what you play, there will always be something for the quarterback to throw. So that's the brilliance of the whole spread coast. And I hadn't really thought of it. I really thought when we were looking for an offensive coordinator that we were going to go like the route of Larry Fedora and more of just the spread concepts and stuff like that. And I thought to myself, you know what, that's fine. That'll work. The thing that I like about the spread coast is it lets you get really, really creative with personnel.
Right.
And then you always have numbers to your advantage. And then with that West Coast concepts, you can get the ball out of your hand like that.
Yeah.
Okay? Because you've seen that. We've seen that before with Jaron. When he reads the coverage, gets it out of his hand. Okay? There's going to be a lot of – there'll be some shotgun, but there'll be a lot of 3-step drop and 5-step drop. You're not going to see a lot of 7-step drop.
Well, I think that's one of the big things that when Manny and Enos, when they talked about deciding on a quarterback, Jaron's instincts and his ability to make quick reads and hit those reads, fairly quickly, because we've seen it in the past, and you see it sometimes with quarterback where a throw is there, they wait a little too long, and it turns into either an incompletion or no yak, after the catch.
Right.
Like they catch the ball and then they get put down. The important part is making those quick reads, and going through your progressions quick. But if a pass is there and you hit them in stride, then you're catching the defense on their heels. With our skill players and that speed, man, you could turn a little slant or a quick crossing pattern, 5-10 yards, you could turn it into 15, 20, 25 yards.
I don't know if I think you and I talked about it. I don't know if I mentioned this in our breakdown of the spread coast. John Taylor, I think he's still a record, is the only wide receiver or only player ever to have 2 touchdown catches of over 90 yards in the same game. Did it on a Monday night game, either Monday or special Thursday, but I think it was a Monday night game against the Rams. Mm-hmm. And both of those passes were short passes.
Right.
That he turned them into 90-yard touchdowns.
Yeah.
Okay. What did Joe Montana have that made Joe Montana Joe Montana? Tremendous accuracy and touch. That's another thing, is touch. Because if I'm running my slant and you hit me with good ball placement, but you throw it with improper touch, okay? Because what the guys have all been talking about, when Jaron throws the ball, it's like the touch is so perfect that it's so easy to catch, and he throws it with a very tight spiral. If you beam the ball, okay, on that slant, and I catch it, but I have to like assure the catch, because even if you throw it in the right spot, but I have to I lose my stride.
Right.
That's the difference between a 7-yard gain and maybe breaking a long one.
Yeah.
So you need perfect ball placement, and mind you, no one's Joe Montana was nowhere near perfect ball placement every time. Mm-hmm. But you need consistent elite level ball placement, and this offense will be a lot more exciting than people think. And what I love is we're going to limit our 3 and outs. And if you thought our defense was good last year, wait till they don't have to be on the field for 40 minutes every game.
Exactly.
And where you don't have 3 and outs all the time and you don't have bad field position. If this will move the
chains, man.
That's the whole design. Bill Walsh said something that was really funny. I believe it was Bill Walsh. And it's strange. It's just strange why how this is. But if a defense gives up 5 yards on first, let's say it's 1st and 10, a defense gives up 5 yards on 1st and 10, and they feel like they were defeated. Like, come on, we got to tighten up. We gave up 5 yards. Now they got 2nd and 5. The whole playbook is open.
Oh yeah.
If an offense throws a 5-yard pass, the defense feels like it won. Because, you passed, but you only got 5 yards. What's the end result? Mm-hmm. It's still 2nd and 5 in both situations.
Right.
And Bill Walsh realized that. He said that he would see defenses like almost celebrating that they gave up a 5-yard pass, but it's still 2nd and 5. And now Bill Walsh had his whole playbook. Mm-hmm. Right? So that's one of the things it's strange about the West Coast offense, because that's exactly what the design is to move the chains. And what's funny is, and again, I love the idea of the spread coast. Why do I love the idea of the spread coast? Spread teams are usually very up-tempo, right? People don't know this about Bill Walsh's offense. His offense was actually designed to control the ball, because they could have 12, 13-play drives, because it would be first down, 12-yard gain, and they're moving the ball down the field. They're dominating the time of possession. Their defense is resting, but they're passing the ball.
Exactly.
And then what happens come 3rd and 4th quarter? The other defense is gassed, because every time you see one of those little slants, everybody has to run after the ball.
You got to cover a lot of ground, man. That's the thing when it comes to spreading the defenders out horizontally and getting the ball to your players in space, man. The defense has to cover ground to make a play on the ball, and I think that's that's really going to be able to exploit and work to our benefit. Playing ahead of the ball and not behind the ball, the way we felt like we've been playing for the last couple of years. Especially the tail end of 2017, but just putting your defense in bad situations and in bad positions, and having them out there for the majority of the game. I mean, it's going to come a point in time where the defense is not going to be able to keep up. But we're flipping that around this time and putting that pressure on other defenses and not putting that pressure on our own defense.
I'm going to give you a perfect example. There was a really beloved coach named Don Coryell. He was an assistant of Sid Gilman, of the father of modern passing game. Well, he used timing patterns, that numbered route tree, to build a great offense, first with the Cardinals. I believe he got to the Cardinals in 73. And he had Jim Hart at quarterback, Mel Gray, who was a really good receiver, Jackie Smith, who's one of the greatest tight ends of all time. And that was very much a vertical passing game. Go deep patterns, 7-8-7, those type of things, deeper patterns always. And timing. So it was the quarterback knew on my 7-step drop, I drop, punch it, do a punch step on the back foot, boom, let go of the ball. And then Coryell went to the Chargers And the Chargers, to me, the Chargers in the late 70s, early 80s had the best team in football, and they never won. They never even made it to the Super Bowl. And I do think part of the problem was that Chargers offense scored so quickly, because you have to remember they had Dan Fouts as the quarterback in the Hall of Fame, Charlie Joyner in the Hall of Fame, Kellen Winslow Sr. in the Hall of Fame. Okay, this is all in the same team.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, at the same time. Okay, Wes Chandler, who was one of the best receivers. They had John Jefferson first and then Wes Chandler. Part of their problem defensively, they lose games. In fact, the famous game against the Dolphins, which they actually won in 81, but they lost the AFC Championship game to the Bengals. They won that game 41-38 against the Dolphins after being up 24-0.
Right.
And they had to go to overtime because their defense was on the field so much. And Dan Fouts would get angry when anybody would say that. He said, hey, offense's job is to score points. What are you going to tell me? I'm scoring too fast?
Mm-hmm.
But they were. Which is, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying, yeah, you get points whenever you can get them. But the Cardinals had 3 years of really good teams with Don Coryell. Never went to the Super Bowl. Chargers had a bunch of good years with Eric Coryell. Never went to the Super Bowl. So for what it's worth, that vertical scheme will get you more turnovers, will get you some interceptions,
Mm-hmm.
okay? And you are going to have a lot of good quick strikes. But you have to play situational football.
Oh, 100%.
You have to play complementary football.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the offense has to complement the defense. The special teams have to complement both.
Yeah.
Okay, when you are up 14-7, okay, and your defense needs a break, okay, and you go down the field really quickly, score a field goal, and the defense is right back out there. Kind of easy for the other team to come back.
Yeah, that's true.
Because now you have a gas defense.
But I don't think we'll have that problem as long as we're scoring touchdowns and
Yeah.
we've seen the offense play off of our defense and vice versa.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that frankly it felt sometimes last year where the defense was the one keeping us in the games, but it came a point in time where not only were they gassed, man, but they were like, you feel a certain type of way when the offense keeps on putting you in a bad position and the defense is there. They're keeping you in the game, but you you're not doing anything with it, So we did see the defense slack off sometimes because they were tired, but frankly, because they didn't have that fire, they felt like what they were doing out there, they weren't getting no help. So, when you are getting help from your offense and your offense is putting points on the board, that gives the defense even more of an oomph of a push to protect that lead, man. Protect those points on the board,
Well, and the vertical passing game, like I said, is also going to get you more turnovers.
Right.
You're going to commit more turnovers because you're throwing the ball down the field. You're going to get more interceptions. Dan Fouts, as great as he was, he would throw 20, 21, 22. I don't have his record in front of me, mm-hmm. but that was pretty normal for him to throw that many interceptions in the season. Right. And mind you, he was a Hall of Fame quarterback, and they were fun to watch. Those Chargers teams were a blast. But I believe that a controlled passing game, okay, because, again, go back to the Bengals had some success with it when they started it, and I believe the 49ers won a whole bunch of Super Bowls with that West Coast offense.
Exactly.
So complementary football, guys, is a real thing. And I'll tell you what, when you gas your defense, and I'm surprised and I'm really impressed with Manny Diaz and with that defense because they had no quit in them. And even when they were put in an impossible situation, our punting game was horrible. Our offense kept going 3 and out.
And look, man, that's with not being in tip-top shape, frankly.
Yeah.
Look at them now. The guys aren't even in better shape when it comes to strength and conditioning. So
Shaq does not look like Shaq anymore.
No, man. But you can say that about every single
All of
person.
them, yeah. Pinckney looks great too. They all look great.
They all look
They
amazing.
all look great. Jaron, look at Jaron.
Exactly.
So I mean, they all look really really good. And
I
David,
actually saw when Jaren was named a starter. I forgot who it was or what media outlet it was, but they put I guess a picture of Jaren like last year, and then a picture of Manny last year, and then like Manny was handing the keys to Jaren. It was like one of those edits, and you just see, Jaren's like shirt was here, and you see the gut from last year that Jaren
yeah,
had.
yeah.
And I'm looking at that and I'm like, that's not even accurate because that looks nothing like Jaren Williams right now. I mean, he changed it. He said 15%, but then he said he was at 16% body fat percentage, and he dropped it all the way down to 11.
Yep.
That's one of the things that the coaching staff raved about as well was Jaren, the work that he put in the weight room with David Feely and stuff like that, and it goes beyond, man. Just working on quarterbacks, learning the playbook and stuff like that. If you're not taking care of your body, then it's gonna hold you back some. So I'm glad that Jaren got rid of a lot of that unhealthy baby fat because he looks like a completely different Jaren Williams. And I mean, frankly, I'm not sure he gets clocked at over 20 miles an hour last year with the way he looked last year.
You have to think about it, guys. This is a reality. This year, I believe, not mistaken, I think we played 9 of our 12 games in the state of Florida. I believe we played because remember we play FIU at Marlins Park.
Yeah.
We play Florida State at Tallahassee. We play Florida at Orlando. I think it's Pittsburgh. I'm trying to remember Pittsburgh, Louisville, and North Carolina. I think are only 3 games out of Florida, and then the ACC championship game, of course, and then the championship, the college football playoffs, the semifinals, and then the finals.
Yeah.
So, but that's I think that's the only. I think we only played 3 games outside the state of Florida in regular season, and I think it's Pittsburgh, North Carolina, and Louisville.
Yeah. Well, let's wrap it up, big dog. Guys, I hope you enjoyed the X's and O's breakdown from the big dog and his diagrams and his visuals. Hopefully, you guys were able to understand some of the concepts, but that's something that we wanted to break down. Any more suggestions, ideas of any more schemes, formations, anything that you want Big Dog to break down, because you best believe he's the one that's going to be doing the breakdowns. But
like, if they want to know like protection schemes, different types of fronts, that defenses do. I wanted to go over. Somebody wanted to know what does 3 technique mean and stuff like that. We'll cover that on another episode, and we could go over all the stuff in the trenches because, guys, that's only I showed you there the pattern concepts and stuff. You have to. There's protections that on each play. There's different types of where you slide the protection one way or another depending on how they're lined up. There's a lot of other little stuff that goes on that when you understand the overall concept, then you can understand all the details, and then all the details make sense. Mm-hmm. In fact, you see most playbooks, they'll start off their first few pages will be the philosophies of, mind you, some of it's coach speak, effort and focus and all that stuff, gang tackling and all the things, but they'll also go into overall philosophies a lot of times, and once you understand that broad view, then everything comes into focus. Then you understand the details, because if you understand the broad view, you go, okay, that's why they're doing that.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. That's why they're doing this pattern concept.
Yeah. It's like building a house, man. Once you lay down the groundwork, the foundation, then brick by brick, detail by detail, you'll start to understand everything else a little bit better. But we do have that video lined up already, discussing the trenches in depth, with Big Dog's diagrams and him showing all the techniques, the numbers, so you guys could understand, when somebody says 3 technique or 5 technique, 1 shades and stuff like that. We're gonna go over all those things in a future video. So besides the trenches and going in depth in the trenches, let us know what you guys want to see a breakdown of in the comment sections below, so we could go ahead and start working on that already. Getting the suggestions from you guys and what you guys want to see is only going to make the job a little bit easier for us to go ahead and bring it to you. So
Absolutely. Well, I love doing it, guys, and I apologize. I did the best I could.
I think you did great, man. It's our first time doing it, so you did great, man.
And the thing is, I had actually saved a whole bunch. We were going to do it differently. We were actually going to do it on the computer, do it like a with PowerPoint, like a PowerPoint presentation.
Yeah.
On the computer with the plays in there. But the problem is, for me to be able to point and show you what I'm talking about, it's you have to do it with like paint or something like that, and then that became an issue because it was like it was not going to look good. And then the diagrams were actually a little bit small, so I mean, actually I could blow them up, but then they when you blow them up, sometimes they get blurry and stuff like that. And then I wasn't able to find exactly the type of plays I wanted to show.
Mm-hmm.
So
frankly, I think that's the best way to do it, Big Dog, is you drawing it up. Let me know if you guys let us know if you guys agree. Do you think?
Yeah, let us know if you liked it. Exactly.
Let us know if you guys understood everything, if you grasped everything, if you were following along based on what the diagrams that the Big Dog drew up. Let us know how that went. Were you guys able to really soak that in and retain that information? But most importantly, just understand the overall concept of the things that Big Dog was trying to explain. So let us know. And if you have any suggestions on, maybe you should try doing this, maybe you should try doing that, throw some ideas out there, and we'll go ahead and read the comments and we'll respond to you guys, because we want you that's watching this video to understand everything that we're covering. So
Absolutely.
The more ideas and the more suggestions that we get from you guys to better understand the things that the Big Dog is breaking down and talking about, then we'll go ahead and bring that to you guys. So just let us know in the comment sections below. How was it good? Did you guys understand everything? Were you able to see everything clearly? And what you guys want us to cover in the future?
And I'll post this question for you. After seeing that breakdown, are you more excited about the Spread Coast and about Jaren in the Spread Coast?
There you go.
And do you feel it's an offense that's going to finally put us where we need to be, which I believe it is. But I want to hear your opinion. And also thank you guys for the support. Please like, subscribe, hit the notifications bell, and leave us those comments. And as you know, the PayPal is on our video screen if you would like to donate.
But not on the video screen, but down below. It's on our video screen during our live chats. But the link in the description to the PayPal, if you would like to support the channel, will be in the description. Support the channel. You see the link. Just go there. And anything that you guys would like to donate to the channels and support the cause, man, it would be greatly appreciated.
But it's great support, you guys just tuning in. But
100%.
if you want to, it would be appreciated.
Yeah. So with that being said, man, I hope you guys enjoyed the video.
You want to talk about Bethel real quick?
Oh, yeah. I guess.
Yeah.
He's gone. That's it.
And
he put Florida in his top 4. What you want to talk about, Bethel?
No, that was Smith. Derek Smith did. Yeah, Derek Smith is the one that put Florida in the top 4.
Derek Smith. Whatever, man. Yeah, Derek Smith is the one that put the Florida in his top 4.
Yeah, that bothered me.
Because Bethel was recently.
Yeah, that really bothered me, though. That bothered me because, that's an old NFL trick that you pick up a player who played for the other team.
Yeah.
And is available. You pick them up just for the info that you get.
I just wonder if he's trying to troll.
No, but I wouldn't doubt the fact that he would tell Florida something. And that's fine. Listen, Enos knows it ahead of time. So maybe exactly. Enos can use it to his advantage.
Yeah.
Figuring out what Derek Smith could tell him. But that really bugged me. That bugged me that he picked Florida as one of his now mind you, I understand he's from I guess he's from Jacksonville.
Yeah.
So
but yeah, man, we did lose Bethel. I mean, it sucks losing somebody with that much speed. I think he was gonna be an important part in the special team, kickoff returns. I think that was gonna be his his spotlight, but I know he was fourth on the depth chart supposedly early on, behind Bandy, Blades, and DJ Ivy. And from what we're hearing and from what we're reading and understanding, we have reason to believe that Christian Williams and Corey Couch probably passed him up on that depth chart. So he didn't see much playing time in the near future for the Miami Hurricanes, besides kickoff returns and some duties on special teams. So frankly, that's probably one of the reasons why I think he's going ahead and look elsewhere to get some more playing time, and show out somewhere else. Maybe playing corner or just somewhere else where you get more playing time, man, and show NFL scouts, whatever it is, if that's your dream, your talents. And frankly, I just thought that there was a lot of people ahead of him on the depth chart that he probably wasn't going to take over if we could be honest. So I don't know, man. It is what it is. I wish him the best, big dog. It sucks to see him go. The Derek Smith thing definitely bothers me because of the Florida, naming him in the top four. Bethel, I understand. I understand Smith as well because I think he was behind Robert Knowles in the depth chart. So he wasn't even
just saying something,
which is saying something. But so I maybe once he saw that as well, his window's closing in college football to be able to get ready.
And Bubba's getting up to speed quickly, so
very quickly.
Yeah. Yeah. No, but the thing with Bethel is, listen, Corey Couch intercepted a pass in the second scrimmage. Christian Williams. Now, Mike Rump did say he's playing a little bit too high, so they're teaching him to get lower on his drops and stuff like that from corner, which takes a little bit of getting used to. But one of the things that Rump said is he didn't realize how physical Christian Williams is. Mm-hmm. That he, coming down, he goes, he'll hit some people.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. And Corey, we know Corey's a dog.
Yeah, he is.
Corey's like 165 pounds of pit bull.
Yeah.
And yeah, he is. And I mean, God, I wish he's going to be Trajan Bandy 2.0, man.
Oh yeah.
He just is.
He's you can make a case he's a better athlete than Bandy, but he has that same dog.
Yeah. You can make that case. Same, exactly. That's what I mean. Because Bandy ain't scared of anybody, and he'll put his head in there.
I love Bandy.
and bring you down. He doesn't care if it's the running back from Boston College. That's like 240.
Yeah.
He goes, he'll put you down no matter what. So, but yeah, I think that was a story with Bethel. But I do think he could have made a name for himself. I mean, he has tremendous speed. He's like a 4.3 guy.
Yeah.
On kickoff returns, I think that could have been his niche. Mm-hmm. And, listen, Manny said it really clearly after a second scrimmage. He said it with a bit of a bite to it. And he said that, fortunately, not everybody that played in that scrimmage is going to have to play in the games. Like saying, you're not going to see the field.
We're setting sail, to Orlando, but not everybody's
going to
be on the boat. So
right, and I guarantee you, when they started looking at film, they went, okay, that guy moving down on the depth chart. Oh look, that guy keeps fighting. Okay, we'll move him up on that depth chart. All those things. Listen, guys.
Hey, and look, go ahead.
No, I was saying to one of the guys in our chat, in our comment section, that there's an old saying about sausage. That nobody wants to see sausage being made because it's nasty looking, but everybody likes to eat it.
Yeah.
Well, sometimes when you want to build a championship program, sometimes it isn't pretty.
And
sometimes it's guys leaving.
It's not, man. And look, for all we know, maybe they're being shown the door in a good way. I mean, maybe Manny, and company, they're really trying to look out for these kids and being upfront with them. Like, look, man, we got this plan for you, but besides that, this might not be in your best interest. Maybe they're being shown the door and to look out for these kids because they don't want to be lied to. You know what I'm saying? So, I think that's pretty cool if that is the case, that they're being shown the door, but in a positive light.
But you know what keeps coming to my mind?
What?
not everybody is suited to play the University of Miami. Those were Manny Diaz's words, I believe, even starting a few months back.
It's true.
He goes,
though,
"This
man.
isn't for everybody.
It's not. It's not.
If you're not about competing at everything you do, about winning every drill, about winning in the weight room, about winning in the film room, about winning, every time you run gassers.
Yeah.
If you're not about that, you don't belong in Miami,
No,
because
you don't,
that's
man.
been part of the problem. We've always had the talent, but I'm not going to say always, because we obviously not always, because we won 5 national championships. Should have
Yeah.
been even more. But for the last few years, it's been underperforming with a lot of talent.
Yeah.
And that's part of it, guys. Listen, yes, you could say bad coaching. I would agree with you. I mean, the defense with Golden and D'Onofrio, that was horrendous. How do you have all these great athletes and you want to put them in like a read and react defense instead of an aggressive one? Doesn't make any sense to me. But again, understanding the overall concepts, D'Onofrio puts them in all these great athletes in a system that doesn't take advantage of being great athletes.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, some of it's coaching, but some of it, guys, some of it wasn't coaching.
Ain't built for it, man.
Some of it were players that
The U
that it wasn't about winning.
The U, when it's been at its best, was made up of guys cut from a different cloth. That's what it comes down to, man. And some guys are just not cut that way. Now, I'm not saying that Nigel and Derek Smith,
Right. I'm not saying either one. I'm not applying this to either one of them.
to either one, but
I'm just saying in terms of overall.
that's the message being put out there by Manny, and I'm 100% behind it, man.
Right.
So yeah,
It is what it is.
it is what it is.
So
Man.
we wish him luck. We wish him luck.
We wish him best of luck, except for Derek Smith. If you pick Florida, man, whoo boy, your cane card forever is being revoked. You are never gonna get it back, Derek Smith. But hopefully, you don't choose the Gators and you go on to a successful rest of your college career, and hopefully that catapults you into bigger and better things, man. But if you choose the Gators, buddy,
I don't think,
baby.
Yeah, I don't think we'll be rooting for him then.
No,
but obviously, hopefully he doesn't pick the Gators. But obviously, we wish them both well, and we'll root for them from afar, and hopefully they can make their dreams come true, because it has to be tough when you have these dreams about playing Division I college ball and then going on to the NFL, and when you can't crack the starting lineup in the case of Derek Smith, or you can't really crack the playing rotation
exactly.
in with Nigel Bethel, you start, that dream starts seeing further and further away.
Exactly.
So hopefully they chase it and they catch it and they have success, as long as it's not for Florida or FSU.
Yeah.
And we both wish him the best. So.
Yeah. So with that being said, guys, if you haven't already, and if you're new here, please subscribe. Hit that notification bell so you get notified anytime we do upload a video. Like, comment, share, all that good stuff. Support the channel if you can. Link is going to be in the description. We would appreciate anything you guys can help us out with. But yeah, man, that's pretty much it. With that being said, big dog,
it's always all about this you.
Thank you, guys. See you in the next one.
Ryan Little.
Yoga.